Dwayne Johnson, the unstoppable legend of wrestling and movies. One of the greatest stars of all time, not just in America, but all around the world. He took the tough attitude and powerful energy of The Rock and turned it into something magical, bringing huge hits like Fast Five, Jumanji, and Moana to millions of people, making his name unforgettable in entertainment everywhere. He came from a humble working-class wrestling family, starting with only $7 in his pocket to become a shining example of hard work, determination, and strength. He changed not only the worlds of sports and movies, but also showed what it really means to rise from nothing, riding the American dream with his own hard work and sweat. With unstoppable energy and powerful presence, he became a living symbol of never giving up and inner strength, proving that greatness can rise from darkness so deep it could have destroyed anyone else. For many years, he was not just an entertainer. He was the story itself. A man who turned his struggles into strength and who never gave up even when the world knocked him down. But behind all that amazing success lies a rough journey. The heartbreaking death of his closest friend in the ring, 4 knee surgeries, multiple operations on his stomach and back, countless scars marked on his body, the end of a marriage once thought unbreakable, and the painful wound between him and his father that death could not heal. Even his beloved mother's life was in danger after sickness and a nearly deadly car crash. Each hit cut deeper, reminding the world that even giants get hurt. And now at the age of 53, while the world still sees a giant with a bright smile, his body still carries the weight of scars, and his heart still aches with loss. The storms of pain have never really stopped. The world has celebrated this superstar for so many years. Yet few dare to face the hard truth behind the muscles and the fame. Shadows so harsh that even $1 billion fortune cannot erase them. It is heartbreaking to imagine a boy coming home with his mother only to find a notice saying they had to leave nailed coldly to the front door. No bed, no shelter, no certainty, only silence and the weight of a mother's tears. That boy was Dwayne Douglas Johnson. He was born on May 2nd, 1972 in Hayward, California, an only child carrying the hopes of a family already toughened by struggle. His father, Rocky Johnson, was a groundbreaker in professional wrestling, one of the first black champions in the WWE. To the world, Rocky was a symbol of strength, but behind the curtain, he was a man constantly traveling, earning what little he could from a tough sport that paid in applause, but rarely with steady money. His mother, Ada Maivia, daughter of the proud Samoan wrestling family of the High Chief Peter Maivia, carried the daily weight of survival. While Rocky fought in the ring, Ada fought a different battle, stretching every dollar, cleaning homes, borrowing from relatives, doing whatever it took to keep food on the table for her boy. The Johnsons were never settled. From New Zealand to Hawaii, from North Carolina to Connecticut, and finally to Pennsylvania, the family moved like wanderers, carrying boxes from one place to another, never staying long enough to really settle down. Then came 1986. At just 14, his world broke apart. Years of being away on the road had left his father a stranger in his own home. Arguments echoing through walls that grew thinner with every fight until love gave way to silence and separation. The divorce shattered what little stability remained. That same year, Dwayne and his mother walked back to the place they called home, only to find a notice saying they had to leave nailed coldly to the door. Their car was gone, taken back in the same week, as if fate had worked together to strip them bare. In one cruel moment, house, vehicle, security, and pride vanished. They had nothing, not even a bed to sleep in. Being poor leaves scars beyond empty pockets. For Dwayne, it created anger. He was big for his age, standing out in hallways. But instead of respect, it brought suspicion and conflict. Kicked out from 4 schools, he fought classmates, lashed out in rage, and hung around with the wrong crowd. By 16, he admitted he was arrested multiple times. He was angry, lost, and on the wrong path. At home, the battles continued, arguments with his mother, both of them carrying wounds too heavy for words. He loved her deeply, but every tear he saw in her eyes tore him apart in ways no physical fight ever could. At the University of Miami, football seemed like the ladder out of poverty, the dream that would fix every night of hunger and every tear he had seen in his mother's eyes. In 1991, he stood on the sidelines as the Hurricanes became national champions, the stadium exploding with glory. Yet his own dream was falling apart. Sharing the same position with Warren Sapp, a future NFL Hall of Famer, meant that no matter how hard he pushed, the spotlight was not his. For years past, most of them from the bench. By 1995, he graduated not with an NFL contract, but with a broken promise to himself. With nowhere else to go, he went to Canada, holding on to a weak contract with the Calgary Stampeders. The pay was $250 a week, barely enough to survive. He lived crammed in a small apartment with 2 other players. His bed, nothing more than a stained mattress on the floor. Dinner was instant noodles. Night after night, hunger eating away at his dreams. Then came the moment that took everything away, cut from the team. His body already beaten up, his back injured in ways that would bother him for years. He rode home with his father in silence. Somewhere along that ride, he opened his wallet. $7. He was unbeatable to the world, but to himself, he was exhausted because greatness demanded everything. Wrestling was not a career. It was a testing ground. 300 days a year on the road. Stadiums by night, flights at dawn, hotel rooms that blurred into one another, birthdays missed, holidays erased. His knees screamed, his back remembered every fall. Pain was constant. Hollywood became his next arena. In 2001, a brief role in The Mummy Returns hinted at something more. A year later, The Scorpion King shattered records. $5.5 million for his first lead role, a Guinness World Record. By the 2010s, he was no longer a wrestler trying to act. He was Hollywood's most profitable star. Fast Five in 2011 turned a franchise into a billion-dollar powerhouse. Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle in 2017 brought laughter to millions. Moana in 2016 gave him a voice marked into childhood memories around the globe. And in 2016, Forbes crowned him the highest-paid actor in the world. From the outside, he seemed unstoppable. Wrestling, movies, worldwide fame, fortune. But at the top, the air was thin. Every red carpet demanded a smile. Every cheer reminded him of the cost. Greatness was not free. It was bought with broken bones, lonely nights, and the fear that if the world stopped cheering tomorrow, he might once again be that boy with $7. Yet even at the height of triumph, shadows gathered beyond the lights. It was May 23, 1999. The Rock stood backstage in Kansas City, tying his boots, getting ready to excite yet another arena. That night, his friend Owen Hart was scheduled for a dramatic entrance. Owen was only 34, still young, still climbing. Just minutes before, he was smiling backstage, joking with coworkers. When the harness failed, Owen fell 70 feet into the ring. The sound of impact sucked the life out of the arena. The Rock, watching from behind the curtain, felt his chest cave in. Minutes after Owen was carried out, The Rock was told it was his turn. "It was the hardest match I ever wrestled," he would later confess. Each cheer felt empty. Each move felt like betrayal. Owen's death was not just a tragedy for wrestling. It was a wound carved into Dwayne Johnson's soul. A reminder that even giants cannot escape sadness. For a time, Dwayne Johnson seemed unbeatable. But in 2010, at 38 years old, the first crack appeared. Tooth Fairy was meant to be lighthearted. It made $112 million worldwide. Yet to critics, it was a joke. The image of the former wrestler in wings became something people laughed at across late-night shows. By 2016, Johnson was 44. On the set of Fast and Furious 8, whispers of tension grew louder. Then one August day in 2016, Johnson broke the silence. He posted on Instagram words that were aimed at Vin Diesel. The post exploded like a bomb in Hollywood. Headlines screamed feud of the decade. Reports claimed scenes had to be filmed separately. For Johnson, it was a different kind of pain. Then came the most crushing blow of all. Black Adam, his passion project, the role he had fought years to bring to life. When it finally hit theaters in October 2022, the numbers told a different story. Experts estimated the film lost between $80 to $100 million. For Johnson, it was more than a money defeat. It was a scar on the very empire he had built. What about his love life? It is just as heartbreaking. Two young dreamers walking the campus of the University of Miami in the early 1990s. He was Dwayne Johnson, a football player chasing glory. She was Dani Garcia, the daughter of Cuban immigrants. I believed in his potential before anyone else did, Dani would later remember. They were inseparable through the tough years. When Dwayne's dream of professional football collapsed, it was Dani who kept the lights on. On May 3, 1997, after years of sacrifice, they exchanged promises that seemed unbreakable. On August 4,